Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your August 2021 reading. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising sign for a more well-rounded perspective. And if you're coming at this reading, whether it is in August of 2021 or another time, I do believe that these general readings have a potential to be ageless or timeless. So as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. I am offering extended readings for a small fee, so if you're interested in finding what else I had to say in this reading, be sure to check out the description box below for that. All right, let's go ahead and begin. And the first card we have for Aquarius is Final Step. So there's an overall, I heard the word initiation. So there's an overall sense of initiation happening. You're going through a process. You've been focusing on some work that is coming to a point of completion that's going to include initiation. And it's the sort of completion that usually gives rise to a new beginning. So when you think of something like an initiation, you've done a certain sort of a work to come to a specific point in the process. That means that the beginning work is completed and now the real work is going to start. So that's a little bit of what I'm getting with this. It's not a final step, it's an absolute completion. You never have to worry, never have to focus, never have to work on it again, as much as it's the final step in this aspect or this element of whatever it is that you're working on. So as you enter into the month of August, and this does feel like it is towards the beginning more than the rest of the month, the act of exploration and research and the work that you've been putting in and kind of getting this, whatever this is, to begin, you're going to finally reach the final aspect of that. You're going to reach the final aspect of the beginning. And then you're going to sort of turn the page to a new chapter, turn the page to the new level of whatever it is that this is actually referencing. A lot of this does feel extremely connected with spiritual aspects. There is a few views that this does incorporate career or job or work related, but there's definitely a completion of the beginning stages is coming to pass. And then the real work, the true aspect of whatever you've been working on, is going to come into play as you transition from this beginning to the next stage. We have life, and I find what's interesting, what I'm being pulled to with this card, is that it is a seed. So again, really tapping into that concept of beginnings, new beginnings most specifically. So we're really kind of touching base with that life at a point of a new origin or new beginning, and what it can give to you, what sort of bounty, what direction it can go, harvest if you continue to nurture it accordingly. So I'm really tapping into, if you're going with the aspect that what we see here is an actual seed and how the seed has begun to sprout, it is the next stage. Planting is one of the first stages of it, and then allowing it to do the work that needs to be done before it sprouts. And then you have to still nurture it so that harvests can eventually come to pass. So again, really tapping into that concept of the hard work, the initiative, hard work that you've been focusing on, and that what you were drawn to or you were called to do, whatever it took to see from the beginning to its end, that is actually coming to an end. But by this, whatever it is, coming to its end, coming to its completion, finalizing in its aspects of its own, it renders the opportunity for a new beginning, but it's a new beginning rooted in whatever it is that you have been working on, whatever you have been building. We're following this with the Tower card and the Nine of Wheels. The Nine of Wheels is really coming in strong with that overall energy in relation to abundance and harvest. So, that transition stage of, what the initiative work to get to where the initiative work ended, and you're able to relax a little bit and then focus on the next step of work. And then what that next step of work gives you eventually will lead to a harvest. And it's letting you know that there is definitely that ending of the beginning initiative stage and the beginning of the new stage of growth and taking root, and what that's going to render for you, and that transition to harvest. But it's also letting you know that there are still some changes that are going to happen in this process. So whatever you are facing, whatever it is that you're going through, it feels big. It feels very overarching. It feels intense in a lot of ways, or in some aspects. So it's really kind of making you ponder things from a different perspective, see things in a new light. And as a result of that, there's a certain amount of internal work or personal work that needs to be done and that you've been partaking in. And you're basically being told this is still going to continue, even though you have finalized that initial stage, that initiation stage. And you are ready to step into the deeper waters of whatever this context is. When you step into the deeper waters, there's still a lot of shift, changes, healing, and what have you, but you have all of the tools that you had with you when you were going through the initiation stage, whether you had them with you during the initiation stage or you gathered them during that particular stage of this change that you're experiencing. These are all something that you're taking with you, and these are all things that are going to help you and assist you as you get deeper into whatever it is that you are dealing with, whatever it is that you're facing, whatever changes that you are making. This does feel extremely self-driven. Whatever this is, it is something that you are wholeheartedly taking part in. You are actively choosing to do the work. And so you're getting a message that's full of validation regarding what has happened, what's happening now, what's going to happen. Sort of a heads up to also let you know that your work is continuing. All the things that you have been doing, you are going to continue, and it's going to sort of up the ante a little bit. But this all feels extremely self-driven. And as I already stated, this feels very heavily connected with spiritual aspect. And for some of you, that does somehow entail with a work or job, your line of what you offer as far as a work is concerned, however that applies. But ultimately, the Nine of Wheels there is letting you know that this is all moving towards a source of abundance for you, a source of harvest that renders abundance. And when I think of abundance in this particular card or in this particular reading, I'm being reminded of how when we plant things and things grow and then we harvest those things have seeds for you to plant more. So there's this continual sustenance. The ability to sustain is wrapped in with this, whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever it is that you're working with, and the harvest that you're going to render. It is something that's going to be able to continue in some format of self-sustaining. It renders the ability to self-sustain. It gives you the capacity to continue to sustain and to continue to grow, because you figure a lot of things when you plant and you eventually harvest and it gives you seeds. It doesn't give you just one seed. A lot of times it gives you multiple seeds, and even those things that might give one seed, like say a peach, the tree that you would plant with that seed would give you fruit that gives you an abundance of seeds. So there's continual abundance, there's building upon, there's a growth aspect that not only do you get harvest, but that harvest renders the capacity for multiple future harvests. So the opportunity for really kind of expanding is what I'm seeing here. So you're finalizing an initial act that you have been participating in. You're going into deeper waters. Things are taking root and you're expanding. And that expansion is allowing to kind of give path and mark the way or the direction for future continual expansion and the ability to expand upon that expansion. All right, Aquarius, that is all I have for you for the month of August. I hope that the month proves to be full of abundance and opportunities for great expansion, and hopefully I will see you in a future video. Until then, be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising for a more well-rounded perspective. And if you're interested, check out the link in the description box below for an extended version of this video. Have a great month.